Right, boys. Basically, welcome to the first edition of the podcast. Ran into early teething problems with the chat screen. Brilliant. Give me a quick second till I get this fixed. Obviously introducing Aaron, Joe Boy, and Sam for the EGN website. I'll get the cameras and that sorted in a second. I think it's something to do with the overlay image. It's just blocking out the cameras. So I'll pass you over to them now. They'll do a bit of intro and talking about the subjects, and I'll get this fixed so as you can see everybody.
Happening, boys. It's me, back again from the commentary desk. Hello. So don't mind Andy and his boomer energy over there, trying to sort the old thingy out. So podcast. We've been working on it for a while. Like I said on Twitter, me, Andy, and Joe, obviously not Sam so much because, the 11-hour time difference is kind of fucking violently. But, me, Andy, and Joe have spent, I think 4 to 5 hours in calls kind of discussing stuff like this and the podcast. So we've got 4 topics for you today. It's pretty much going to be topic 1, the juicy bit that a lot of you guys would be interested in. The history between myself and Bluefin and even Joe to some extent back in the day when VFL was still coming up. Like the kind of old days, like the 2013-14 kind of peak of VFL when Andy was still doing FV, CG and stuff, and how we kind of like used to really hate each other, and then how we kind of got, to be as we are now. Topic 2 is going to be the VFL and EGN kind of partnership thing that we both announced about a week ago now, something like that. So that's there. Topic 3, we got the surprise announcement that Andy and Joe and myself have been teasing the last kind of couple of days over the weekend, which I think a lot of you guys here will be very interested in. And then topic 4 is, I think topic 4 is just questions. I forget what topic 4 is. There's so many topics. What is topic 4?
Topic 4 is just basically questions for the chat.
Yeah, topic 4 is a question time. There you go, so you get involved. Again, one thing I mentioned as well, excuse me not having a fucking camera, it's because basically my computer is fucked and I don't have the correct cable splitters for my mic. So for me to use my laptop, it only detects my fucking headset and not my mic. So if you're me fucking speaking and not hearing me, then there you go. Yeah, there you go.
Picture's fine. I love it.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Andy had this fucking Hey Arthur thing to use.
Yeah, I definitely wish you went with the Hey Arthur.
It's still there. It's coming up later on. After we've had that argument at the start, he's getting changed.
Yeah, fucking the shaking fist of Hey Arthur instead, man. Do it.
Right, hold on a second, just get this Xbox turned off so the music's away. Right, so obviously Aaron's went over the topic, so may as well just get right into it and the early history of FPC and VFL, to come up with that kind of argy-bargy that happened, the kind of distaste that me and Aaron had for each other over that period.
Oh yeah.
And then obviously the kind of culmination of that into just how we ended up getting basically on what you would say amicable terms to what you see now is obviously
to the point where fucking I'm Andy's doc bitch making him Google Docs on the Saturday night while he's absolutely fucking trying to go out of his nut organising a draft.
Organise a draft, half cup.
So I take it will I start then with because obviously FPC's history came first in it.
Yeah.
Right, so basically, a lot of people know this, a lot of people won't. But FPC started with it was basically a breakaway for the old FEPA site. I'm sure you have heard of FEPA. They're still good about just now.
Yeah.
That was ran by FEPA Kelly. Actually, a really sound fella, but his admin team, one of what you would call the best. They basically went about and they banned quite a few teams off the site. So all the sites had basically came to me knowing that I had kind of web experience and stuff, and said, right, can you make a site? And I was like, at first I was kind of like, no, but then they banned me too. So I was like, okay, I'll make a site. So that's basically what happened. And we basically took all the big teams. So it was like Foregone, Unity, Footwork. Basically all these teams, Wonder Kids, Magical, and they were kind of the two main. They were the two main teams that got banned along with Unity, was Wonder Kids and Magical. So basically that was the early come up of FPC, but it exploded in FIFA 12 obviously because the world ranking system at that time was everybody played for it, as I'm sure you'll recognise, Joe. At the time, everybody played on that FIFA 12 world ranking system, every single team.
Oh yeah.
There was no such thing as a friendly. and they'd done a friendly. Everybody just played sessions, and it was game chat, and you were abused and all this kind of stuff. So that's the early come up. I would say FPC in a kind of nutshell. So you want to go ahead, Aaron? I believe you started in FIFA 13.
Yeah, well, FIFA 12, so mine's the complete, pretty much opposite of Andy. When Andy was involved in the high end, that was just some random scrub playing divisions in FIFA 12 with Messiah, which a lot of the guys will kind of remember, I think, which is Ryan, and other guys that no one really kind of remembers. I don't know if people really in the chat know who Vegeta is, but he used to be admin here. So, yeah, we basically had like league experience running other leagues and other games, like back when we were way younger, since I'd known Messiah and the other lads for since I was like 14. So then we kind of basically we played FIFA, of course, just constantly and consistently on the side, and we always thought, like, yeah, Pro Clubs is just the one. It allows us to kind of play with like 4 or 5 people at a time and have a bit of a laugh, and we weren't running leagues on like wrestling or F1 or whatever. And we just kind of thought one summer in FIFA 12 that this is just kind of like boring. There's nothing really else to it other than just getting to Division 1 and that's it. So then we looked at stuff like VFA, which was a massive US site at the time that did what kind of VFL does now. We took inspiration from that because there was nothing European at the time like that. That was that. So we said, you know what, we have the experience of running smaller leagues. I reckon we can honestly make a go of this on FIFA. And Ryan and all the guys that I hung around were pretty much like, yeah, let's do it. And we made a free, cheap shit website on Weebly. And we launched the site, went into well, I don't think there were drop-ins. There were like lobbies back in the day. We could go into lobbies and just request games and stuff. So we would go into drop-ins and Xbox message people there, or drop-ins and these lobbies and these just various things. And we just used to get 30 people on our friends that were on recent players list at a time and mass message them all and be like, hey, you want to play Pro Clubs League? Let's get going. And then before we knew it, about a week after just doing that consistently after school every day, ended up having like 500 people on the site, and we just kicked off. And that was how we came about, pretty much. And then of course grew it, and there we are.
On the basis of that is, I'm actually surprised you mentioned FIFA, because obviously part of your early history was that when I took over, when I made FPC, what I did very quickly was like establish a moderator or an admin for every single top team, apart from Divine, because they stayed with FEPA. So it was like basically one for Magical, one for Wonder Kids, one for obviously myself for Unity, blah blah blah. So JR, I'm sure you know Miracle James. Everybody knows Miracle James, or James Ryan. He came along with a guy called Kyle the Great. And they basically came along and they said to me, along with a guy called Streets and a guy called what was his name? It was a DM's name, is it Makalele or something like that? Anyway, they came along and they said, look, why don't you do this on your site? Because you've got all the European scene basically tied up. Get this FIFA site and you try it. But my mods at the time were like Sir Marty, Sir Bottle, all the guys that were like entrenched in 11 man, and they basically said, nah, pish, we're not doing that. So I was like, right, well, obviously I'm going to go with the nucleus, because we're running a 128 team or 64 team tournament, so I'm not going to, we don't really need to do this. Little did I know what it was going to become. So so that's quite funny that you should mention that, because obviously like I had been kind of introduced to it and looked at it, but didn't go with it.
Oh no, I was fascinated by it, man. Like when Ryan Messiah showed me FIFA for the first time and he showed me it, it was just like, I was just amassed by it. I was like, oh, contracts, transfers, like all this kind of stuff just looks so just amazingly cool. And I think that's what everyone kind of gets the first kind of vibe when they see VFL now. It's just like all this kind of set structure and that like the economy system and stuff like that. I think people love that element of realism into it. And then like I don't think we even realised it ever to get this big. Like I said before, we were running like 200, 300 people leagues and like other games. Never tried a FIFA league. We thought this would just be the same. Get to maybe like 500 people and that would just luck out and we'd be done after a year. And then here we are. It's just, it was mad.
Yeah, so you want to get into the nitty gritty then?
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Right, so basically I would say that obviously at that time I was the daddy and Gringo was the kind of small time website.
We call him the man.
We never actually spoke. Here's a thing that a lot of people don't know. Me and Gringo didn't speak until FIFA 17.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not very amicable, I may add. Both very rude to each other, very cut at the time. But everything that we'd ever heard about each other was through hearsay. So we were getting third, fourth, sometimes fifth-hand information from people based on what we'd said. But obviously, I mean, I'd heavily criticised that first Weebly website because it was a trash can. It was fucking disgusting. And we laughed about this the other night. It was absolutely a riot, that site. And obviously, because I'd been using V-Bulletin, and quite a nice looking V-Bulletin, obviously, because we'd skinned it and stuff, and we'd robbed the skin off the French, things like that. So we had quite a nice looking site, and then you're sitting there with this. It's absolutely messy our website. So I've been heavily critical of that, and I think that's when it started.
Yeah. See, the thing with me was because, of course, as like a guy that just came out of nowhere and ran a league, I think I only started learning about the 11 scene when 360. when Xbox One came out. I'm pretty sure because I never really touched anything or heard of anybody from the 11 scene on 360. So then Xbox One came out. We did the whole transition and moving over, and then just I think FIFA 14 is when Vendetta and Dilshkin and stuff started coming on. And then from there, you look at them as like a really good team. As a person that knows nothing, you just look at that Dilshkin team of Vendetta and go, wow, they're fucking amazing, the highest standard I've seen. And then, of course, you kind of learn more and more. And, of course, back then, this is 5-6 years ago, people were different. People are just way more cocky. And then I think the thing that kind of tipped my feelings towards the 11's community is when I see or saw people like Dragon Fists and those older guys who came on, eventually following on Dylan and stuff, just basically calling the site absolute shit. Not the website. I think everyone knew the website was shit. Of course, I was still protective, even though the website looked like shit, because not much I can do at like 16, 17. So, like, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, okay, the site's shit, but they were criticising the people, the kind of community. And my whole mantra when making VFL was just like, I want to make something for the community. So then everyone was just talking about how shit this is, shit that is, and I was like, okay, why are these people only saying it and no one else? And then, I think, I don't know who kind of flagged it to me. I don't think it was like anyone big like Marty or Roboto, but someone said to me like, oh, just ignore these guys. These are like the higher up, like on a pedestal type players that just know that they're absolute shit up quality, but they'll shit on everything and anything. So I was like, oh, okay, so they're arseholes. He's like, yeah, pretty much. I was like, okay. So then I looked at that group, and then I looked at more groups coming in, and then of course there were people that were quiet and nice. Like I've always said, like people like Dylan after playing with him, and guys like Events, Chris, like top lads. Like can't say a bad word about them. But then you got the other guys that were there at the time, like Vectro, Drizzy, like those kind of lot, like that eventually came in that were just unbearable. These are the guys that were going into clubs, winning leagues, like talking absolute shit, then club hopping around X, Y, and Z leagues and clubs. So then I'm sat there thinking, okay, well, so they talk a lot, they talk a load of shit, and they don't stay at one place at one time to kind of defend anything. So I just grew like an automatic hatred for anyone from that scene. And then, of course, because Andy is the fucking guy that leads that scene, it just makes sense to automatically hate the guy that leads that scene. Because at the time, I was like, well, he's not in control of anything. These guys are like running around and just talking shit constantly, just being arseholes. He must be like encouraging that or kind of facilitating that. So obviously I have to hate Andy. That's the way that I kind of like treated it.
Well, that's the thing is that when you understand the 11-man community back then, toxicity was basically what we all thrived on. We all loved it. That was basically the scene. The scene was the forums were set in the sense whereby as long as you never personally abused anybody, like by putting up personal pictures or because remember back then nobody had webcams and stuff, nobody done this kind of thing. Nobody knew what anybody looked like. It was just basically like if somebody found a picture of somebody, they would get tortured and people would get it was full of racism. It was the scene was just it was crazy. Like you would go on a game chat and it would just be like it was like fucking at a farm, man. It was just like people shouting and screaming, moo noises, sheep noises. Like it was crazy. It was a crazy time, and the toxicity was absolutely through the roof. So it's only natural that when they go to a site where you're trying to encourage no toxicity, and they're 11-man players, they're like, well, that's what we're used to. Your site's shite, you're shite, everybody on it's shite. So I never had any hand in that. There was no narrative for me to say, right, these are crap, because I never actually publicly said this site's fucking shit. I only said to my admin team, this site's fucking shit. You know what I mean? So there was no narrative to anybody like that's what it was. But obviously the narrative came further on when we started like getting sleek at DMing each other's members and all this kind of shit. That's when obviously.
This is the first thing I remember back like when VFL started getting traction, and I remember bringing this up to you ages ago, I think when we first started talking, but I never knew who did it. But I think when VFL started getting a lot of attention and more and more people from like the 11th side came into it, I remember getting like a private message on VFL like back in the early days, like 2015-ish, and someone messaged me being like, hey, you know, you've heard of Bluefin, like, you know, he wants to kind of like merge up and partner up. And I remember at the time knowing, again, this is at the time of knowing who you were and everything, and I was just like, fuck that, I will never ever team with this guy, like ever. Like he's a complete arsehole. Like I don't want that state of the community here. And then I just ended up like leaving it, and then that guy just never came on the site again. So it's just like, okay, good, he's gone away. And then more and more people came, and then obviously it just spreads around.
2015, I'd never emerged with you ever. I mean, you were just a front to me basically back then.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the feeling was like mutual. So, there was just no way, absolutely no way. In fact, 2015 is when I merged with Ninja Fox, and the whole Rivals thing started.
Oh, Ninja Fox! Oh my god!
But Rivals, the interesting thing is about Rivals is that didn't actually start with it didn't actually start with me and Ninja Fox. That actually started in FEPA in 2012. Yeah, that was their answer to our split. And we started dabbling in, because like I remember always going on to the V Bulletin forum, and I tried to find it today. I tried to log in today to find out what the guy's name was, but I paid a guy like £100 to get like stats and stuff at EA, and it was like dynamic signatures and stuff like that. And he managed to code in some stuff into the tournament system we had, which was the V Bulletin tournament system. Also at the time I'd bought a fantasy system, and I also had I'd bought something else. I don't remember exactly what it was. I was talking about it the other day as well, but I'd bought two systems. One was a fantasy system, and one like basically on the basis of what JR and that had said. So I'd basically poured money down a drain that we were never going to use and wasted something like £1,000.
Oh wow!
Yeah. And the only thing I did use was the dynamic signatures, and it had like the team's badges, the team's stats, told you how many games they'd played. Very, very basic. And then FEPA came out with this fucking rival system. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is actually unbelievable, this system. But nobody used it. Nobody used their site. Nobody used it, so it was a waste of time. But that's like the kind of early history of kind of Rivals, where that came from.
Better than my fucking early history of stats, mate, sitting up at fucking 3 AM in the morning on a fucking Sunday with sixth form on Monday, just put shit into a box on Excel. Good old times.
No, it is.
I used to.
Hey, I started on Excel too, man. Don't you worry.
I remember that. I remember sitting there updating league tables and everything.
Yeah, I remember fucking the old days.
For that.
Big fucking Kiwi, the Italian admins absolutely fucking up the final match week Serie B table and promoting the wrong teams, and then having to tell everyone that they were the wrong teams going up. Fantastic times.
That's the worst. That's the worst thing that can happen.
The thing is that when Ninja Fox came about, I'd never seen the likes of it before. And Sam, you've seen his Rivals coding. It is absolutely insane. It's like a level I can't even read. It's like that good. You know what I mean? It's literally his coding is just next level. I got it working. I cracked it to the point where I got it working again. I could never fix certain aspects of it, and that's when I first got in contact with you, Sam, was obviously through that, because I was like, I'd stumbled on your system, and I was like, oh, here a minute, this is quite tasty, he's got this working. How? And then so I showed him mine, and he's like, I don't know how he's got that working. I have no idea. So, aye.
The thing with it as well is that at the time, like, I don't know, like, did anyone really take any inspiration from YFL either? Because I saw that in the chat Bowley saying about YFL had like a similar kind of system as well. Because like I said to you yesterday off camera, Andy, like I looked at YFL back in the day and when VFL was starting up and thinking about copying that system. But I just never really, like I said to you, I never really saw the interest of people fucking wanting to be Aston Villa or Chesterfield or shit. So
what he did was he came in FIFA 15. He coded in Rivals to the site, and he coded in the old YFL system to the site, the original FE. And that original FE site is the most feature-packed website I've ever seen. It's still to this day. It was probably 10-15 years ahead of its time in terms of what he'd done with it, because he'd incorporated that complete system, and he had like stuff that I just wouldn't have dreamed of back then. and I was amazed by it, but it actually collapsed after one season, and he fucked
Yeah.
off. He got pissed off because it collapsed after one season because he couldn't understand the community. He didn't like, because it wasn't the same community as it was in FIFA 12, where he was like a kind of god. He came into a just pure toxic environment, and people were like, "Fuck off, mate." You know, I mean, if I don't want to play, I won't play, and you can go fuck yourself. Whereas you'd built up a different system where like people were like, "Oh wait a minute, if I don't play, I'll actually get fucking banned." Like, if I say like my granny's dog died or something, I'm banned. You know what I mean? Whereas he didn't grasp that, so he fucked off, and I was left myself again.
Mate, you could honestly, talking about that, you could literally put in a fucking part 5. I mean, Joe rattle off the funniest fucking excuses for people either bottling or not playing VFL games, mate, honestly. I've had fucking people...
died about 4 times.
Someone that, remember when Camendo said that he fucking couldn't show up, no, something Camendo won the Scottish Cup final because he said he had a heart attack or something, and then he shit himself, and then it was that he was getting sucked off by his missus so he couldn't concentrate. It's like 3 different stories, mate.
I think that like starting to talk about rivals and stuff, I've kind of went off the beaten track. I mean, you are, but let's just say we both really disliked each other. We both took a long time to come round to each other.
Yeah, like from my it ended up that way because just with, like you said, like we listened to too many different people. It's like there was people in my ears just constantly being like, yeah, and like Bluefin is just dislikes you, he hates you, he doesn't like you, thinks everything like you, the concept is shit, he thinks everything is shit, the community is shit, the site's shit, just everything's bad. And I just had this kind of thought process for a long time. Well, like, you know, if I'm not going to get any fucking respect, or if he's not going to leave me alone, then I may as well just say fuck this guy as well. And then that's when I ended up banning you about you ever being on the site, because I was just like, if I show the statement that Andy isn't welcome here, then maybe all these guys will fuck off, because Joe will know. Because Joe was back near the time where I just had the mindset where, like, I don't want any of these 11s people on here. Like, I don't want them within 100 miles of this site because they're just not the right people for this site. And then, of course, as FIFA's went on and people kind of grew up more and more, and the attitude started diluting, I kind of just scaled back, and then everyone just became normal. Because I don't think there's really been, like, a massive us versus them mentality in terms of, like, the VFL guys and the 11s guys, because I think there is just a blend now. It's a mix. The line's blurred. Yeah.
So
now everyone's just kind of.
You look at teams now; they're all mixed.
Yeah.
They're all literally. You get Clash and Lucid for Toxic mixed in one team this season. It was in Inter Milan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, but so back in like the earlier days, man, it was just so kind of like it's us versus them, like you're shit and we're good, and that's just it. I just wanted to stomp that out, so that's the whole reason why I thought, okay, if I showed them that Andy's fucking not welcome here, then they'll just go away.
Yeah, I got banned, didn't I, and had never actually visited the site. I'd visited the site obviously to see what it looked like, but I'd never actually registered. But I was banned. I was like, how's that possible? But the person that actually healed the riff was Drizzy. Drizzy came to me, I can't remember when this was, but this was all around about do you remember when the Spaniards and all that got involved in the, what do you call it, the...
VFO?
VFO.
Aye,
yeah.
So he'd came to me and told me all this amazing stuff about VFO and basically sold me a dream, and I was like, right, okay, I'm going to go and talk to this Aaron guy and actually see what the score is. Probably about time we did bury the hatchet, so we started talking, and it was amicable at best. It was very cut. I'm sure you would agree. It was very cut.
Yeah, it was very blunt.
Yeah, on both sides, and it was like you could almost feel that you're a cunt coming, and then the very next line, I could feel it. I don't know if you could feel it.
Yeah, 100%.
But that was the early thing to heal the rift. From my perspective, the rift completely healed when Joe Boy and that came about with VFLC. And I closed FE and redirected the site straight to VFLC. I would say that's when I basically bit the bullet and sucked it up.
Yeah, I think it was always going to be one, like that type of thing had to happen from either side, because everyone told me before when we used to kind of not speak, but we kind of like, when we not really patched it, but we just kind of like let each other do what we were doing. Everyone used to say to me from that like 11 scene, because that was like the kind of year when I was still teaming with Drizzy and Dylan and stuff at AC, and then when I used to talk to Drizzy and do team sheets and stuff, it was like, you and Bluefin are actually so alike, it's impossible to kind of get through to you both. I'm like, of course I was like, I'm not like Bluefin, don't say that, just fuck off. And he's like, yeah, you are, you're so stubborn. Yeah, so then obviously I think when you did the whole thing where you closed FE down or CG down, you redirected it to to VFLC, that's when I was just like, okay, fair enough. It's done now. It's patched, and then we kind of had a good relationship from there.
We couldn't, as far as I was concerned, we couldn't have the split of our community so small. Because while the 11-man scene at that time was still reasonably sized, it was still small in comparative terms to say VFL. So you just couldn't have two sites. And as much as it absolutely pained me to do it, because I was like, here I go, having to suck up. I've fucking carried the community for years myself. And that's the way I felt. I know there was a lot of people that helped and stuff, but I felt that I was always the one that stumped up the money. I was the one that was paying out of pocket. For years, I never made any profit. You don't make a profit off a site that size. Anybody knows that. You don't. You're paying out of pocket constantly. But I was like, right, do you know what? For the good of the community, I'll go in there. I'll get behind Joe and that. And I kept my head down. I didn't cause any problems. I hope I didn't. I just went and entered into every tournament, every league. Made sure that we didn't cause no problems. Made sure we didn't back out anything, and just sat there basically. But as that time went on, we built up. We obviously built up a relationship much better than what we'd had, and got to the point where we could actually speak about things. And you would share information. You were actually starting to say to me, you were giving me tidbits of stuff, and saying, "Oh, what about this? What about that?" And that's when the relationship kind of got much better, to the point where where we can sit in a podcast and have a laugh. Because over the last week, we've sat for 11 hours, me, you, and Joe. Just talking about all random shit. That would never have happened 3 years ago.
No doubt.
Never would have happened.
So to bring it back as well, the one thing you said about VFL, it's interesting because the NDA I had with VFL when they flew me out to Madrid for the 2 days. I think that's when Joe was still an admin, so Joe kind of knew that was happening at the time as well. So it was back in, that was January 2017. We'll have to do that in the future. I could talk about all the stuff with VFO now because that expired in 2019, January. That would
be a great topic because they did try and sell our dreams. So we can definitely do that.
That was a nuts time. That was.
I'm happy to wrap this segment up, Aaron. If you're, unless you want a last word on it, or.
No, I don't mind, man. Whatever you want to do, I don't mind. I'll talk about whatever.
Right. So that'll lead us into part 2. That was supposed to be a 15-minute section. We took half of it. It leads into part 2, which is the obviously the announcement of the partnership between the EGN website, which is basically the Australian website, and obviously Aaron's website VFL. So basically, if you two want to go ahead with that, how did that actually come about? Because I don't know if
not a lot of people know that.
I tried to team with Sam 3 years ago. So I
had to charm the pants off of him, Andy. That's why.
God. You can start it off, Aaron, if you'd like.
Me and Sam are basically, before this all happened, we were talking for how long? Like a year or 6 months, something like that. So we've always had a good relationship. Like I always said to Sam when I first popped up and saw him on Twitter, I was like, yeah, I hear a lot of good things about EGN. And I said I appreciate what you do for the mode in Australia, and just always kind of kept tabs on it. And always kind of appreciated the work that Sam did because of, the website looks class. The whole thing with Rivals looked insane and incredible. He just looked like a very knowledgeable guy in terms of his tech and in terms of just wanting the best for the mode. So I always had a good relationship from him there. And I just always kind of popped in from time to time with DMs, just asked him how he was and just kept a good relationship there with him. And then just, after over time, there was an entity that we both disliked that was just kind of drove us towards each other more and more. And we always talked about throughout the year when we spoke, the first 6 months when we spoke, teaming up in the future. And it was always very much we'll get around to it, we'll do it at some point. And then that just kind of got accelerated through just other events. And then Sam just kind of popped up to me one time and he was just like, hey, listen, fuck all that noise, let's do it. And I was just like, I'm down if you're down. And he was like, yeah, bet, all right, let's go. And then here we are. So that's the short version of it. But yeah, I don't know if Sam remembers it any differently than that before we go into the details of it. But.
No, it was, that's pretty much what it was. I always, when I look at other communities outside of EGN, obviously there was the stuff with Andy's websites, I forgot the names now, but FIFA Esports, I remember that one and all them. And sites like that, and obviously sites like VFL, they just sort of reminded me of EGN. Just the whole I don't know. I guess just like the brand, the loyalty around the brand as well, like with VFL. I felt like that's something that's missing a lot from other websites, and it's sort of what reminded me of like Oz FIFA. And because obviously, I don't know if many people here know, but we were known as Oz FIFA, and then we rebranded to EGN back when esports became a thing, and kind of just trying to get away from just being Australian FIFA. We wanted to try and do more with that, and yeah, I guess I think, it was that entity that, like you mentioned, kind of brought us together, and I guess we just kind of hit it off a little bit,
like the whole thing with it is the whole thing with it is that like we were so alike in terms of just we had the same kind of ambition in terms of just satisfying our communities and just not bothering anyone else. Like I think that's the vibe I always got first. I was like, I always looked at you when we spoke and was like, yeah, this guy is not, because it's difficult to have like a conversation and communication and like a constant kind of link with someone in like the kind of ownership world of like websites and stuff in FIFA, when you don't think there's like some sort of ulterior motive or there's some sort of end goal here. But I always looked at Sam like, yeah, this guy is just doing what he wants to do because he likes clubs, he loves clubs, and he loves the community that he's built, and he just wants the best for the community. So I think that's always why I was kind of like resonated with you so well. And then, like I said, the whole thing with this merge is essentially what Andy had in Rivals, and Andy, you can verify this as well, because you essentially you gave Sam the name for Rivals because of what Sam had pretty much had at the time, and he was missing a name for it. So I don't know how that process came around, but there's an endpoint to this.
No, I was gonna actually. You can go first, Andy, if you want. Actually, if you remember it better than I do.
Well, the basis of the conversation was I had a broken Rivals system. And I'd obviously I'd been searching about the internet to see if anybody else had anything like this. Stumbled onto Oz FIFA, which coincidentally your name on my Skype was still Sam Oz FIFA. So that's like because I tag everybody with names on my Skype, but kind of side point. But so I'd seen this system, and I was blown away with what you'd done with it, because the ideas and the concept was stuff that we'd spoke about but never actually like got to push forward because it was obviously broken. But I mean, you had stuff in there like score 40 goals and an 11-man achievement. All these kind of like wacky things that were just unbelievable. They were really good. So I'd obviously came to you and said, look, I've got this system as well. We call it Rivals. What do you call it? And you're like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, well, why don't you just call it Rivals? And you're like, but that's your name. And I'm like, well, come on, that's the name. There's no other name for it, is there? What else can you call it? Like, there was just nothing else. And you're like, you don't mind? And I'm like, no, of course no. Like, that's what the FIFA community is about. But obviously at the time, I'm trying to woo you. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm trying to get you to do something for me as well. Do you know what I mean? I'm wanting something for you. So I'm obviously like trying to receive. Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't receive what I wanted.
No. At the time, no. Let me just sort of like, from my perspective, that was early Oz FIFA days. I think it was 2014. I think so. We launched Oz FIFA in 2014 without Rivals, and then I actually checked it just before because I wanted to make sure I remember everything. But we launched our version of Rivals, Oz FIFA Rivals, in February 2015. And I remember at the time when I spoke to you, which was I think months prior to that. I don't know how, and I don't want to lie about like my sort of where the inspiration for Rivals came from. It's obviously a long time ago now, but I think the conversation started of like, that's right, yeah. So now I'm kind of remembering. So we had access to the API already, and we were doing something completely different. So it was accessing that same data, but it wasn't involving any of the matches that are being played. So it was just your career stats. So we actually on Oz FIFA launched with already access to the API, and basically you would link your career stats. It was a very weird way of doing it, but you had to, because, and this is still to this day, this is how the system works. You got to be in a club to be able to find like your profile, your ID, to be able to see your stats. So it's like you have to join a club, and then you basically link it on Oz FIFA, and then your career stats are just there on the site. And then what happened was, I think what kind of gave us sort of the motivation to push it even further we noticed we had this leaderboard on the site, a real-time leaderboard of everyone's career stats. You know, the career stats, you go onto pro clubs right now, you got like your all-time goals, your all-time assists, all that kind of stuff, just the basic stuff. So we had average rating, all that kind of thing. So the people those screenshots that people take of like, oh, I'm a free agent, here are my stats. Yeah, so we were tracking those stats. And what we saw was people took these leaderboards really seriously, even though they were a bit of a joke. So like, you have to understand, like back then, it's so easy to just get like a 10, you couldn't get a 10 back then from scoring a hat trick, I don't think, but you'd get like a 9 point whatever easily just by scoring in a 2-man game in Div 10. So people actually, and this is what got me sort of with the idea of rivals, got me started thinking about it, was that people were literally just non-stop playing Division 10 2-man pro clubs to get their rating up on the website, so that when you went onto the player ratings, you'd be on top of like, oh, I have an average rating of 8.1, I've got 500 goals in 500 games, blah, blah, blah. So that's what kind of sparked me into like, okay, these guys really, and that's sort of the whole thing around this, is like people love to just see themselves in the spotlight. People love that kind of shit, right? Team of the week.
Oh, trust me. Oh,
yeah. We all know. So like, it was like, hold on, all right, we've got these stats, and like this is all cool and all, but it's a bit iffy. It's like, okay, well, you could just go to Div 10 and just play against whoever and score, get your rating up. So then the conversation started with me and my brother, who kind of helps me out with Oz FIFA. We always just kind of go back and forth with ideas, and we're just like, all right, let's try to like get matches, because I realized we can actually get matches, like match data. So we're like, all right, well, let's look at that and see what we can do with that. And then one thing led to another. It started off basically as like, oh, let's just track matches, and then kind of, I don't know, see what we go from there. And it's like, oh, we can do leaderboards, we can do all this and that, and then like, holy shit, let's do a point system, right? And then, oh, holy shit, let's do a team of the month, let's do a team of the week, style it like an ultimate team of the week. So it just led from one thing to another, and then that's sort of, and then at that time, I was like halfway through. I think I was halfway through coding, or I'm not sure, but I started looking around. So I think, and I'm not 100% sure on it because it's a long time ago, but I think I started looking around for other systems that, as you do, right? You're like, okay, well, I've got this thing that I'm doing here. Let's see if other people are doing it. And I think that's when I stumbled across Andy's website at the time. I never looked at I don't think I saw it on, I may have seen it on FVPA or these other websites, but I definitely stumbled across, I think, Andy's website. And then I was like, oh, fuck, these guys are kind of already sort of doing it. But then I looked into it and I'm like, yeah, I think we can go one better here. Like it was an okay system, but there was much more that could be done with it.
Yeah, definitely.
So and then I think that's where the conversation with you started. And I think at the same time we both were like, I think you were like already talking about the system, and then I kind of like was like, yeah, I'm actually working on something like that right now. And it may have sounded like I was, and I still don't know like the timelines of all this, if I maybe got a bit of inspiration off your system, or if I'd already had this in place and then spoken to you. I'm not sure. I don't actually remember. But we kind of just both spoke about it at the same time. And then, you basically were like to me, just straight up, you're just like, call it Rivals. And I'm like, hold on, that's actually a pretty damn good name. So, that's how I got the name for Rivals. So if anyone, and then did you guys actually call it Rivals? Who called it Rivals originally?
FEPA.
FDPA, okay.
Because I just took the name straight off. I mean, if something's good, copy it. Simple as that.
Exactly.
If you get a winning format, we'll look at it as Aaron said.
Well, I mean,
VFL.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was about to say, with FIFA, I copied FIFA for pretty much that, and just added twists to it and made it European. And that's how I'm here. So
copy it. So obviously we may be losing people a wee bit with the technicality, but basically what Rivals does is when you go in a match, right? So let's take you mentioned Lucid and Class earlier on. So instead of Lucid and Class searching for a friendly, Lucid and Class synchronise a search at the same time. When the two of them are linked into the rival system, so basically the two managers link into the system. As soon as you put your team name in, bang, all your stats are there. It just goes in, it collects all your data. They two play that night, and that night when the site syncs up with EA, it'll track all their stats. It'll track who did what, passes, goals, score, everything. Then that is placed into a leaderboard system. The leaderboard system is based on the old ELO system that EA used and tracked. So Sam's obviously coded
could
that
go-
for
I could-
himself. And
Yeah.
then so let's say say Lucid were top and Class were second bottom, you wouldn't get a lot of points. But if Class beat Lucid, they would get more points than say Lucid beating Class. That's the way yellow works. So yellow system works by giving you distributing more points for the team lower down because they're beating a higher average team. Basically, that's the way it works, and it's a godsend rivals, and it is going to be a big shot in the arm to the scene if people get involved with it.
Get around
I
it.
think-
People need to get around it, of course.
I think obviously,
Yeah.
I think what we should do here is lead into the announcement because I think it all ties in with this. And obviously then it's going to end up
Go on, Joe.
involved with this. So
Joe, you may as well. Joe's been sat there like a fucking guy
you-
waiting
No,
for
Aaron,
his
you
TV.
do it and you bring Joe in. So, Aaron, over
Aaron,
to you to announce what's
Okay.
actually happening.
Yeah. So the big announcement that we kind of sat here and discussed and kind of verified that with Sam that he's happy with us doing as well, because like Andy said, heavily involved rivals, is we are in a way bringing back VFLC. And we're going to launch a midweek 11s league based off of the back of how successful the World Series has been, based off the back of how many people want it to happen and want something to do, based off the back of how many people think it will work and it'll be good, and off the back as well that there's just nothing quality ran midweek so far in Europe. Sure, you got the guys in Italy and Spain and stuff running their stuff, but there's nothing UK owned.
That's the problem. The
yeah,
problem
there's
is
nothing-
the boys here have nowhere to go. They
Exactly.
don't- A lot of them don't like going into the VPG or no many of them don't like getting into all the foreign ones because they're quite difficult to deal with.
Yeah,
But
it's like
we're basically going to be getting in. We're doing the leagues. We're going to bring back Monday night footballs. We're going to bring back Super Sundays. The weekend, the World Series. Nothing will change for that. That will carry on regardless. That will take precedence over any leagues, any Super Sundays, Monday nights. That will take precedence over them all. Nothing on that will change. But I don't know about any of you. It's something the scene's
Yeah,
needed for quite a while. 'cause
yeah.
of
And I think it's the biggest, it's the biggest chance of the European scene and the UK scene having the most successful comeback. When you think about it, the three of us in terms of Bluefin, me and Joe, and then you add in Sam's technical expertise, have never worked together. So you got this full fucking horseman system, three of which you could say have been the people carrying pro clubs in the UK for like the last 10 years, even more. It's like, so you look at Andy's got all the experience, all the contacts, just the reputation of just being like the godfather of UK clubs. You got fucking Joe, who everyone loved when he ran VFLC, who had so much of a fucking backing for VFLC, who was just, everyone loved VFLC and its organisation. And then you got me being involved, and sure, I mean, I wasn't involved in VFLC, but when I'm involved in something and I have an interest in something, you motherfucker, Andy.
That's the way you're doing it.
Yeah, I think with so the fact that I've got such good, the fact that I can organise, the fact that I'm able to give the resources of VFL to Joe and give the resources of just the site and everything like that to the midweek league and have everything run there, it makes complete sense.
Rivaldo will bring that up. Sorry, Aaron, on you go.
No, so that was pretty much all I had to say.
Right,
Really.
so
It just makes
obviously,
sense.
as a brief synopsis, what's happening is obviously myself and Joe are going in with Gringo. There's no split of a site. It's no VFLC. This is all happening under the main house, VFL.
VFL.
Joe will be the lead. I'll be his backup, and Gringo will obviously be there to help us with anything we do. What the basis of that is that any tournament that we run in terms of the 11 scene, because Sam has such a good technical system and sound system, we also use EGN as well. With that, because we're registering for the tournaments, we'll all be registering for the tournaments. We then register ourselves for rivals as well, so it's a double whammy. We get ourselves registered for rivals. We stop playing friendlies. We start getting into normal clubs games. And we all synchronise when we're searching so as we can actually face each other and no face like dud teams. That's a basic synopsis of what's happening. So again, it's obviously Joe's the lead, backed up ably by Gringo, and Sam is basically the technical head. So it's a mutual benefit beneficial
literally need to
partnership
put a
between
bit of fire
everybody.
back into the British scene because it's literally a burning ember right now, and there's nothing there that we need to fix.
No, there's nothing to go for.
Somebody needs to fix.
That pick is Gringo's real childhood pick.
Great, fantastic. I like his fucking tie though. So okay, I'm back. No, but I was saying, like, yeah, when you think it's actually nuts to think though when you said that, because we were discussing this the other night. The only thing that's really been there to kind of keep the 11 scene alive this year so far is the World Series, which is just one event a month in the UK. It's like when you think of that, it's just like that's why the sign-ups. That's what I said to you, Andy, the other day. That's why the sign-up sheets just fill up so quickly. Like I remember I put the sign-up sheet for World Series event number 3, went to sleep, came back, and then within like 12 hours we had like 28 out of 32 teams confirmed.
Yeah,
So it's just like the fact that they fill up that quickly just show that there's an urge to get in there.
There is an urge, there's a desire for people to play, but we just need to give them something to play. For us 3 to do it, there isn't any better 3 to put something on.
There's no consistency, and there has been no consistency since basically when you stepped off VFLC. We obviously started up FE because we didn't want to work with Pompey.
Another reason that came about was because he fucking duped the life out of me, that sausage.
Killed
my baby, so he did. My baby gets murdered.
I guess what we can do now is there's obviously we can. I mean, I don't know, Sam, if you want to come in and on in terms of what's going to happen on your site, the sign up policy and all this kind of stuff. Just briefly kind of summarise that for everybody, and what it will mean, like how quick everything is in the turnaround of your system, because it is quite impressive.
So are we talking the league/tournament system, or rivals, or everything?
Kind of both basically, the whole kind of package.
Yeah, so EGN is sort of like just an all-in-one system. So it's a completely custom-built website that I built, and everything is linked together. So you create one account, and you've got your leagues, and you've got your tournaments, and then you've also got rivals, which is like an add-on on the site. It takes like 2 seconds to sign up. And then you're in, and basically you can from there register a team on EGN, which can be used multiple times. You can just literally click sign up on any tournament. So you set up your team, you add all your players to the team for the first time, manage it there, and then it's there, and you can just for any tournament, so you don't have to go through that process again of oh shit, I have to invite all these people to the team and set that all up again. So you create your team on the site. Like, let's say Class, for example, they go on the site now and they create the team, they add everyone into the team, and then it's there. That's it. They've got like all their members set up, and then every time they want to sign up for a tournament, unless they have to obviously add more people in, it's literally just click sign up and then tick from your team list that's on EGN who you want on your roster for that tournament. So there's like your team list on EGN, which is like this one entity, and then you can sign it up for like multiple tournaments, multiple leagues as you go, and you have a different roster for each comp. So it's very easy in terms of that. The setup, you set it up once, and then that's it. And the same thing with Rivals. Rivals is literally just signing your team up, and that's it. That's literally all you have to do. So you sign your team up to Rivals and just play. So it's actually very easy in terms of the setup, and also the whole managing side of it. We have our own stats entry system. All that works fine. You pop your stats in, it updates the leaderboards. There's also like capabilities around, so stats lock after like 2 days, and you can set this to however you want it. You can set it to lock after a week. You can set it to lock after 3 hours. And then you can also manually unlock stats at any time. But basically, it's just like, okay, you can enter your stats, and then if you made a mistake, you can go in and fix them up. But then after a certain period, it locks, and only admins can touch the stats. So there's that sort of system in place. There's a comment system on the site. Now, I know, and obviously I don't want to, in terms of like VFL and the community side of it, I don't want to push the community sort of like features of the site, because I know that's where VFL comes in to this. And for me, like, you guys obviously want to utilize the tournament and league system and rivals, and that's fine. But there is a system on there for commenting on match reports, and it sends out a notification on EGN to everyone involved in that match. So That's an option there. Obviously, I'm not really too fussed about that. If you guys just want to do it through the communication side of it through the VFL website, that's totally fine by me. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I just want to make it easy on the UK scene. I have a product here, and I'm just like, hey, you guys can use it. I want it out there more. I want Rivals to be out there more. I want the system that I've created to be out there more, because I put a lot of time into it. And really for me as well, just on a personal level, and you'll see this within the next few weeks, I'm taking sort of a different approach to EGN moving forward. Just on a personal level, I've just landed a full-time job recently, so a full-time software developer job, which I'm starting in about a week. And so in terms of like the sort of monetization strategy around EGN, it's just sort of taken a back seat. And for me, and you'll see this within hopefully soon, an announcement. For me, everything that comes into EGN, money-wise and all that type of thing, right now, I'm just planning on throwing it straight back to EGN. So I have my job. I'm going to be starting my job soon, and that's going to sort of be my own personal income. But with EGN,
congratulations on the job.
Oh, thanks, mate. No, it sort of took pressure off my shoulders of like, shit, okay, I need to monetize EGN, because obviously when you're putting that much time into something, you need to, you know what I mean? You need to be looking after yourself at the end of the day. That's no longer a problem, because I've got this full-time job and the site's pretty well set up. There's still a few bit of things I need to work out, a few kinks here and there, a few features I still need to work on, but it's pretty much all there. So yeah, what I'm trying to say is that pressure of monetizing the site is no longer there, and it's really just to increase the brand, to increase, you know, so we have a premium system, and we're actually looking at knocking down the price of that. So it's currently $5 a month, Australian dollars, which is, yeah, it's pretty cheap for you guys already. We're actually looking at knocking off $2 off of that and just making it really easy, really accessible to everyone. So, but the idea around that is we want to put all that back into the site, and we have plans for like a ranking system, which I won't get into now, but to sort of incentivize premium, but also not in a shitty way, because I know what people do. They'll lock basic like features behind a paywall, and I don't want to do that obviously with EGN. So that's just sort of my like if people are worried about like the intentions around it, that's sort of my
your premium is like the way our premium would be. It's just an enhancement of features. It's no locking anything. It's like you're not you're not asking anybody, oh, by the way, you need to pay me money to manage your squad. You can manage your squad.
No, you need to pay me £7.99 a month to release your players. I wonder what
that's touchy subject.
Yeah, just to clarify that, this is obviously something that we're going to we'll get into that in later podcasts. There's a hell of a lot of stuff we can talk about on that, but just to obviously I want to come back to you, Joe, because you're going to be kind of like the main kind of pusher for this. Just like where do you see this going? Like, where do you see this going? Like, how do you see things developing and all this? You obviously, I mean, I've got a buzz about it, but I'm sure, obviously.
Well, I've had the itch for a while, which is when, well, since I only spoke last week, Aaron, when I came to you and basically pushed the sort of idea.
Yeah.
But I've had the itch for a while, because I mean, I've been running a few 11-man sites. I've went and played in some of the foreign stuff, played in what is the British stuff, and it doesn't.
I'll take this one for you, Joe. Joe wants to be politically correct. I'll do it for him. It's fucking shit. Carry on, Joe.
Basically, I mean, the quality isn't there. We know where the quality teams are. They're not playing because there's nothing for them to physically play for.
Let me just quickly jump in again there, Joe. Let me just quickly jump in here. There's no good teams want to play that shit because it's absolutely fucking garbage. Carry on again, Joe.
Yes, I know. I'm being PC, but Aaron thinks swinging swords. But we all know the teams are there, the players are there, that they're going to know where they want to play. I'm in specific leagues that will not be spoken, and I just shake my head of disbelief most of the time when I'm playing. But the shit you read in chats and whatnot, British scene needs a shot in the arm. And this is what we're going to do.
And like you said, I mean, when you got the support of Andy next to you, which is just like that's like having a fucking a tank behind you in terms of just his influence and in terms of help and in terms of that and in terms of me being there for the pair of you, in terms of you needing anything or needing me to do shit, I'm right there.
There isn't a better team. You've got the
absolutely.
I spoke about it, the VFL platforms there. I had the platform with VFLC the first time. There's a few stipulations that I've got new that I didn't have the first time. Where if
Do
anybody,
do you want to talk about that today, Andy, or you want to leave that for another one? The stipulations and
no,
stuff.
this is all part of Joe's.
Because you can talk about the whole contract system as well, Joe, and how we're not going to let people hop around and shit.
there won't be the hopping about similar to the World Series, which it's just not going to happen. The one thing we need to fix in the British scene is the club hoppers.
They need to go.
They actually kill teams physically, because teams and managers build their squads around about these players who are club hoppers, and the club hoppers start jumping before you know it, the whole spine of your team has went, and you get clubs folding left, right and centre.
Well,
needs to change.
Joe, just to come in on that, just to obviously be the point of clarification with Aaron, and the point of clarification was me and Aaron were talking, Joe and Aaron were talking, then me and Joe started talking, then we're like, hold on a minute, we're all talking
about having the same conversation but different.
So exactly. So end up we get in a call, we're all talking together, we're like, what can we do? So one of the things we obviously went to Aaron with was, look, this is not going to work if we make this a separate entity site. So the first thing we need is this house with VFL. It needs to be on the daddy site. There's no point in having it split. Aaron, you were like, brilliant, no bother. The main crux of it for me and Joe was is that, look, we need a deterrent. So just as a point of clarification, again, just for everybody to know that if you fuck about on the competitive scene, it affects your VFL as well. It affects all it.
Because the whole historical thing is just like the 11 scene has always been viewed as kind of more quote hardcore. So it's just like you just get away with more shit. It's like it's the same shit. I don't give a flying fuck. And I think Andy and Joe agree with me. It's like shit with like racism or anything in like any chat. If it's the official fucking chat, if it's just stupid toxic shit, it's gone, man. It's not happening with it.
The main thing is teams pulling out of tournaments when you're literally days away or hours away for the tournament. If you
kiss goodbye to fucking VFL season if you do that too.
It's game, days, season, whatever bans for it's basically everything is under the one roof.
Right, Joe, are you want to finish up with anything, or are you happy just to proceed?
I'm happy with that. Happy carry on now.
So obviously, part 4 is basically opening up questions to the chat. So this segment will obviously be as long as you guys ask some questions. It was an absolutely brilliant question by Rivaldo. Everybody knows him as Suso. And his question was, are we doing position locks? I.e., this year you've got 7 left wing backs and right wing backs in a team, and then you've got 3 left forwards or right forwards. Are we doing position locks for the competitive side of EFL? You want in on this, Sam?
This isn't my place, because obviously you guys are going to be actually running the tournament and running the league. But just FYI, on EGN, in our AVPL, for example, we the way we do it is you simply have to be in left back or fullback to have a left back or fullback build. Wing back or fullback build. It's as simple as that. And for the 3 at the back formations, we go with the widest midfield players, I'm pretty sure, as like the left back, fullback build sort of thing. So, because obviously there's no real fullback build in certain in 3 at the back formations. So yeah, we just substitute that for just the widest midfield players. Yeah, they can be. So if you guys want to, and I'm free. Obviously, I'm free for you guys to use our rule set. If you want to even adopt the rule set completely, that's totally fine by me. And yeah, if you want to make adjustments to it, that's fine by me as well. That's just throwing that out there. Yeah.
What we do in the league, rules wise, is we know Aaron's run stuff, I've run stuff, Andy's run stuff. We're not going to please everybody, but what we're going to do is what we think is best for the scene. What's going to make it the most competitive? What's going to, especially the most fun? Because we all know how mind-numbing playing this game can be at times with EA. The concept of clubs, there isn't any better concept of anything on FIFA, but the execution from EA, we all know is, well, not the best. It's putting it mildly, PC again, but it's not the best. But I'll probably gauge with the community what everybody would think of position locks, definitely, because it's something that needs to be looked at. Because I don't know about you, it's you're watching 11-man teams play each other, and there's 7, 8 fullbacks, and then you've got 2, 3 strikers or wingers, wide forwards, whatever. It's no game's broke.
Well, the way that you said it when we talked about position locks yesterday is that you and Andy both said that would be just game changing in the same, because it creates a skill gap, it creates an element of fun where like you just can't abuse the game mechanics as much.
Teams will not be able to press high lines the way they would need to find a new way to press high lines, because centre backs don't have that pace to catch the striker, winger, or whatever.
The other thing as well is people are mentioning height restrictions. Height restrictions are no as prevalent this year. They're no as prevalent this year. If somebody's playing 6'7",
got rid of them.
If somebody's playing 6'7" this year, they get annihilated. We're like, there's guys running about 5'4", they'll get annihilated.
The centre backs I've been playing against that have been playing 5'10", because height.
Yeah, I've not heard any, because of course, like, keep my ear to the ground. I've not heard a lot of people ranting and raving for height restrictions. I remember when I did the World Series at the start of the year, when I announced it in July or August at the end of last FIFA, everyone was like, "Oh, are you going to do height restrictions then?" And I was like, "Well, no, we'll wait and see what the new FIFA's like." And then as soon as FIFA came out and the World Series sign-up sheet came in, no one really gave too much of a shit at all about height restrictions. There was no ranting and raving about it whatsoever.
So just to let you guys know as well, we've had height restrictions since FIFA 17, when obviously we all know that they completely fucked up the builds in that first one. And then, I think this is the first FIFA since FIFA 17 we haven't had height restrictions. So we actually got rid of them this FIFA as well, and we haven't looked back. It's worked very well for us. So. Yeah.
Someone asked in chat, Andy, what about trait point restrictions? I doubt that would happen because it's too hard to track, isn't it?
Nah.
You can track,
even the height
track
restrictions
position
was really
locks.
hard to track.
The reason you can track position locks is because you get eagle-eyed managers looking for any default they can get. As simple as that.
Policing it is hard.
Shout out to Doyle.
Let's not kid ourselves that there's still absolute cunts in the community that will like look for any single default they can get. Like, so if you fuck about, you're going to get caught. Believe me, you will 100% get caught. And if you get caught,
look. There's always somebody
the thing about this compared to like height restrictions and all that stuff is you can literally just go into the menu at any time, look at the other team's lineup, and then look at their build from the player performance screen and match it up and be like, okay, that guy's clearly not. Yeah, like you can at any time during the game. So that's what's great about it. So no one's going to obviously take that risk, and you've got stream VODs as well. I agree, 100%.
Hey, hold on, it's no VFL hat and it's VFL.
VFL.
So it's all the one thing, except it'll be the competitive part on the same site. The same thing.
Entry fees, no, because that's one of the things that, the other sites struggle to get teams to play on, because teams don't want to be paying to be the privilege to play.
Well, that's another thing as well, is that on EGN is the ability to just do a league system like that instantly. There is the ability to just do it instant, and it's just like, here's a date, sign up or no sign up, and that's it, done. It's no... Do you know what I mean? It's not as clunky as the way we had it before. So there is
it's very easy.
The potential for it is there. Right? The potential for it is definitely there. But it's at the moment we need to rebuild the scene back to some sort of semblance of what it was. We can't leap before we're walking.
Yeah.
I mean, you basically you can't. I mean, it's obviously an interesting question, but it's something for further down the line.
Do you want to answer? I don't know. Hatton's got 4 questions. We answer those first 2 and he's disappeared. Yeah. I don't know if you want to answer that one while he's typing. Someone said why. Oh, never mind.
Where's the third one?
I don't know. He just disappeared. He went for a fucking cup of water or something, didn't he?
He's wrote. I forgot my 4th question, but I didn't see the 3rd one.
Right,
so is this rule coming for all of VFL? Just the competitive side? Just the competitive side? Popham.
Sorry, what was the question? Sorry, was that for me?
No, that was just Popham. Popham asked if if the right wing back rule is coming in for all of VFL or the comp side, or just at the comp side.
Yeah,
I think everyone's agreed with that one.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe and Andy, if they play VFL constantly, would love it to be in, but it's just too massive to police in terms of that wider scale. Way too much. We just deal with a shit game on normal VFL.
Yeah, it's too big. I mean, how many teams are we talking?
We're going to,
mate, like 300 plus, like 350 plus.
People asking, are they going to get 2 badges? We spoke about this vaguely. Going to get 2 club badges, obviously the VFL for Toxic Lazio, and then the other one is, are they going to get the 11-man club badge?
I'll just come back. I fucking went into a big fucking loop of connecting. What was the question?
They're going to get 2 badges, like they've got their VFL Lazio for fuck's sake. Are they going to get the 11-man club one?
It's doable. It can be done, but like I said to Joe before when he asked me that in the call, it depends on just the permissions and the resources and the club uppers as well. Because it's like the only reason we do badges on VFL is for the club lounge, and of course, like, you know, it's something to fit on profiles. If you do two badges on a thing, it depends if it's going to stretch it out or not. So that's the other thing I think into, but it's possible.
Personally speaking, I would say no, because the reason being is because aesthetically it will just look an absolute nightmare. Obviously quite a few questions coming in, so I've highlighted Dylan. Dylan's asked how many proper 11-man teams are in the Aussie site.
So I just answered that. So I answered it in terms of the numbers of players. So in total across PS4 and Xbox in Oceania, which is obviously much smaller than every other region, but in terms of players that are actively playing right now, whether it's on EGN, like ABPL or Rivals or anything like that, it's around 700, 800 player mark. And obviously a little bit less than that if you're looking at people who sign up to ABPL every season. So it's pretty, like, it's a pretty decent size considering the player base that's here. We pretty much everyone who plays pro clubs in Australia is on EGN. So it's really easy. People don't go on social media to post about finding a club. They go on EGN. So yeah, it's a really good setup we got going.
Right,
I've got 2 thingy. Ray, technically I've already started because I've already messaged about 20 plus managers about, well, hypothetically was what I was putting it through, so that they didn't quite catch on to what I was doing, but I've technically already started, and the other one was the stocky glitch. The stocky glitch, well, no, if anybody's caught in the stocky glitch, then that's not happening. That does not in that glitch.
Right, okay. What was the question that Ray asked?
When am I planning on starting?
Right, okay.
But I've already technically started. But when it's going to take me time to get basically everything in position to get the league started, or anything started, to be honest.
I just started tomorrow.
I'm starting from scratch. Basically, I have all the docs and everything from VFLC before I gave it to Pompous Ass, but I've got everything. I just need to basically get my feet back under the table and build again for where I was.
Right, Hatton has asked, I'll just answer this one quickly. Hatton has asked, is it PS4 and Xbox size or just Xbox? At the moment it's just Xbox, but the plan is obviously established that we can do it with Xbox, then PS4 will come in as well. You can't leap before you can walk. You have to like establish that you can do it in one scene before you go in and say, oh, here, we're doing it in 2.
Exactly.
Basically.
Exactly.
Chubsy, you're hearing voices twice because you've probably got 2 windows open. Question. Somebody asked how the contracts were going to work.
Yeah, I mentioned that. I saw that one as well. Well, I think, would it be the same way as VFL, Joey? You're going to have them tied for one, just tied for the one season.
If we get so far through the season, maybe not the first season, but maybe, I don't know how we would work it. I'd need to figure out how we would work it if we get halfway through a season and obviously you get players that want to move and do their club hopping. We might think of some transfer system.
Like a window maybe?
Yeah, some sort of window, but I'd need to figure out how finances and all that nonsense would work. Especially the first season, it would be very difficult to implement that because there's no way to keep teams unless you just give everybody a flat fee across the board. But again, this is all in its infancy.
Right, we had a great question for us as well, and I think this basically is self-explanatory, but I'll ask you this, Gringo. What's the plans of PS5 and the new Xbox are cross-platform?
Oh, mate, don't make me fucking have a hard on this late at night. Jesus Christ, if it's fucking cross-platform, there's going to be so much good, juicy shit coming you don't even understand. I'm talking, I've had this fucking plan since I was like 17, 18. I've always said if PS4 and Xbox One came together, I would do a fucking CONCACAF shit. I'd have fucking the Club World Cup just as big as the Champions League. I'd have all this shit, man, because we just gain instantly another 150, 200 teams. don't even understand. The PS4 lot would love it because, you know, they haven't got anything as good as this on this side, on their side, that is structured and that actually has a fucking rule set to it. They don't have stuff like Spain. We could bring back shit like Holland. The PS4 lot gets Scotland, which a lot of them want. Then you can start opening shit like Argentina and Brazil and like I said, a CONCACAF, a Club World Cup. Oh, mate, honestly, I've been dreaming of a fucking cross-platform system with PC, PS5, and all that shit for about fucking 3 years.
We actually spoke about this the other night for about half an hour, so that shows you how in-depth Aaron wants to go with that. He wants it to happen, so that's your...
I shit you not, I have on my fucking Google Drive a 2,000-word document just ready with plans of what to do with cross-platform. Like, I'm praying for it, man, you have no idea.
Right, so, well, you've got your answer there. So the next question, which I'm not quite sure what this means, it doesn't make sense to me, but I'll ask it anyway. It's PSN does where they ban PTB for teams. Will that be an idea?
So PCN is an American league, Andros, and they ban teams from parking the bus. Is the competitive league going to do the same?
Well, aye. It's the same as time wasting, same other nonsense, isn't it?
Sorry, I missed that.
There you go.
Come in.
Oh, basically, it was just if an American league.
How long are leagues lasting? Don't worry, Han. Leagues only going to last 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 months. They'll not last that long.
We won't be near a league.
That's a major problem.
I've already asked. I've asked that question.
Fixtures are flexible. They'll be flexible to the point of how they were the last time. No one teams for the first week playing a game in the last week, so you can play that game. If it's scheduled on a Tuesday, play it anywhere within that week would be the idea. Play it within that week. You've got a whole week to schedule the game, play it in that week, and just keeps us going, basically.
Yeah, that's a good question. Obviously, because I mean, personally speaking, Unity entered one league on other websites, and it lasted 3 months, and I was like, by midway through the second month, I was like, what, I absolutely hang myself. I just couldn't see myself doing that.
It's just kind of happens when you don't understand anything to do with the mode, doesn't it?
Depends how many teams we get Hatton. I mean, you know, the first time I done a league, I had 2 leagues basically. I think the first league was one big league of 20 teams, and people said they didn't like it because, well, by the time you get through, so we done a north and south sort of conference thing, and then had like a playoff American style. Which, if we get 20 again, I'd probably go that same route of having 10 and 10, and then going like the American style playoff sort of style.
The thing about is well, that's good. Is you got to remember you got Andy and Joe who are like the fucking yellow pages of pro clubs, so they can get people that way. Like Joe even said to us in call the other day, like he started talking to the Italians and Miriam and stuff.
Yeah, I've spoke to everybody. I spoke to the French. I've spoke to the Italians.
Exactly, and the thing of it is
they've been waiting for something because
exactly
it's a lot more fun playing in new leagues than it is playing in what they're playing in now.
Yeah, the exact thing the Italians said was that the organisation and just the entertainment of it all from a British league is just it's not matched anywhere. So you add in that, and then you add in the fact that the kind of VFL turned 11s teams that are entering the World Series will be absolutely fucking peaked by it. So I don't think we're going to have a problem getting teams in. I really don't.
No, definitely no. Bucks, just in regard to Bucks, I know the answer to this, but I'll obviously base this out of you, Joe. Would tourney be a one-day thing, or would we be getting into 2-leg knockouts over 2 nights?
Again, depending on the size of it, I would say. But I would probably, if it's a 32 team, you could take it on one night.
The general consensus is that tournaments will be played in one night, and it won't be 2-leg knockouts either. We prefer just the basic 1-leg knockout system.
We don't need it anywhere now that we've got the penalty shootouts.
Yeah. Exactly. I never
penalty shootouts, we don't need it.
Yeah, I never understood why people have continued to ask for like 2-legged shit in.
Yeah, we got rid of those.
Long time ago. Yeah, as soon as it came in for extra time and penalties, I thought that would be the end of it.
It's so good, it's so entertaining. We do best of 3 in our final.
We needed it before penalties because we used to go into golden goal games, and I remember the final. I went into 5 golden goal games, and I was banging my head off the fucking window.
Okay, lads, everybody in the chat, anybody's welcome to ask a question. You don't need to be invited to do so. It's a free open house question time, basically. Adam, as in Mooch, that's already been covered in terms of when the league will start. Joe has been sounding out teams, and there'll be further announcements when the league will actually start, basically.
And Super Sundays and Monday Night Footballs, so there will be a lot more content for you to play, basically. I mean, I've not done anything for Jesus, what? Maybe a FIFA, 2 FIFAs, maybe 1.5 FIFAs, whatever. I don't even remember when the FE thing finished. But I've had people coming to me maybe monthly, maybe 2, 3, regularly. I'll say, asking when are we doing something. When is something getting put on?
Joe's the fucking Eric Bischoff of fucking pro clubs, mate. He's back and he's better than ever.
Joe, you know the drill. It's like, because we're the ones that's done it. It's like, what's happening, what you doing, and when you're running a tournament. And I've just been like sitting, waiting.
It's not an overnight thing. See, especially these tournaments, it's literally, you need the prep time. See, if you don't give yourself the prep time to set everything up, you're only a loser.
Yeah, like, I to jump into that as well. Like with the World Series is a one-night thing. But like, I could never ever, like, if I didn't have a World Series planned, let's say for next Monday, and we did this podcast tonight, people like do a World Series on Wednesday, I'd be like, you're out of your fucking mind. There's so much to prepare. It's just not easy.
That's what I think. People don't realise how much stuff. That's what used to get my goat up when we would run these on VFLC or whatever, running these tournaments, and then people would try their damnedest, especially on the night, to make it trip up or do something. Like, do you know how much time I've put in, how many weeks and whatever? It was always every 4 weeks, but as soon as one's finished, you get a couple of days off, and then you're right at it, you're off, and you're doing it again.
Oh, 100%.
And then you get to that night, and people are trying to cheat and do whatnot. And
people don't understand just what the admins are putting in. They really don't. That's how the best people is the people that come in. They sign up the players. They sign their name up, sign up the players. Put everything that's asked of them, and you don't hear from them again. Day teams are gold. They're absolute gold day teams. Lucid Ray is asked, will there still be seasons in VFLC or starting from scratch? No, we'll use the World Series ones.
The World Series ones are already there.
So that's what we'll be using.
I saw a couple of quick fire questions. Someone asked about a Discord. I don't know if you want to say about that one, Andy.
Yes. Basically, I couldn't even speak about this to anybody. I kind of alluded to it to DGA, who's obviously part of Unity with me, but Unity won't be running the way Unity was. Like, i.e., we went down the route that we were going to try and push it as an org, but it's not. Neither of us have the time to do that. So Unity is basically scaling back to basically just Unity again as in the team, and then content creators. So what we'll be doing with the Discord is the Unity Discord will become the VFL Discord. It will be getting changed. Probably not tonight, probably tomorrow. It'll be VFL's official Discord. I'm sure you're happy enough with that, Aaron will be coming in full scale ownership with Joe, and we'll be going for there and rejigging it about to suit, basically.
Another good one as well that I saw could be one for Joe. I don't know if Joe answered it when I was in a big fucking connecting loop, but someone said, will banned players get a fresh start that are banned from normal VFL, or will they remain banned?
Was that for me or for you?
That's for you. I guess one kind of both of us, I guess. Really.
Well, I would probably, it depends on what they were banned for, I would probably go with.
Yeah, I think that.
Racism across the board, you're gubbed, you're for the bin, basically.
Yeah. I think it goes to like a system where like I'm happy with what Joe's happy with, and it's always been the same. Even when Joe was a VFL admin, I always kind of said the same thing. I said the same thing to every kind of admin I have. If you're doing something in a project and you want me to kind of help you with it, I'll back you and support you with whatever decision you want. I'll fight your fucking corner if it's even wrong. It's just like, I'll do whatever. If Joe wants to let people on and have fresh starts and stuff, but only cap them towards the comp league and not playing normal VFL,
well, that's fine. It's going to be taken on a per account basis because it's dependent on what they've done.
Depending on what they've done.
Yeah, it's just
how long they've been banned on VFL will be a thing as well, I would imagine.
100%.
Yeah, we got all the logs for that too, so that's good. I saw one other good question, but I missed it now. So yeah, that's all I saw so far.
Mark Dev, that's already been answered. The punishment for bottling the league is you'll be punished both in the competitive part of the site and the VFL part of the site. It's double whammy.
The choice has been under one roof.
Yeah, this is what we wanted. This is perfect. EGN is not part of VFL. It's a partnership. It's its own separate entity, and we will be working hand in hand with them. So basically, what's happening? I believe this is what's happening. I'll stand corrected, obviously, but the competitive side is we'll be gone, and we'll be using the tournament system. We'll be using rivals. Aaron is pushing everybody to use rivals for his side on VFL. And then what Sam is doing is he's pushing for an Oz side of VFL to be created on VFL. I believe that's it, right? That right, guys?
Yeah, Yeah, pretty much. In terms of the immediate sort of things that are happening, it is, So if you go on VFL right now, you can actually access rivals from the drop down. And we are now actually working on a league comp that we're going to run on the VFL platform. So that's just the beginning, obviously, but that's sort of what it is right now. So.
Right, there's another
P.S. If you're in the World Series next Monday, sign up for Rivals. There you go.
Yeah.
There's
another question. There's a question for Cheeky, and a couple of people mentioned this about winners and losers brackets. But I tried this before. I don't know if you remember this, Joe, but I tried winners and losers brackets before. For FIFA, it's no Call of Duty, guys. That's all I can say.
Wow! I'm glad you said that. Sorry to just cut you off, but like that's literally. Because we were trying to push. This is at the stage where like esports became a thing, right? Like a really big thing, and everyone was like, "Oh, let's do." Well, I kind of tried to push it as well. Double Elam, blah blah blah. Seeing like the Call of Duty scene and seeing all these esports scenes, it doesn't work for FIFA, man. No, it's not a FIFA thing. Yeah.
Remember, we tried.
People don't even understand it.
No, they don't even know what it is. That's the biggest problem. It was tried by.
Why the hell do you get a second chance?
It was tried by Pompey in one of these tournaments, and Jesus Christ, people literally lost their mind because they didn't know where they were supposed to go, who they were. I mean, it was all there in front of them, but nobody had a clue what they were doing.
I think a few EGN guys can also remember that was sort of the case with us as well. Anyway, sorry, go on, Andy.
The other thing is about the double elim and the loser bracket system is what happens is that when somebody goes out, so if Phoenix go put down to the losers bracket in the first round and then run all the way to the final, but Unity run all the way to the final straight through, is what happens is that Unity sat about waiting on Phoenix for 3-4 hours. And then my guys are all sitting there called, well, Phoenix has got all the momentum, but obviously you're playing a double, then playing a double header and they need to beat you twice to win it. It's just a shambles, guys. One of their tournaments should be a team that basically goes through and wins all the rounds. That's just the way it should work.
Yeah.
It's football. 100%. The way it should be.
None of this fucking loser shit here in my house. Fucking Brexit means Brexit. Fucking you lose, you're out, mate. Fuck off.
Is there a way to get players that are lesser known in the community more involved? And
I think so. Like I'll take that out, because literally, look at the World Series. Look at the World Series teams that have competed in 2 out of 2 events so far that are not quote names. We've made the World Series a format where basically anybody can go in and play with a fucking custom name and with an 11's name. You don't need to be. It's like I said. Like there's people that are going to be wanting to play a VFL midweek league. It's just the facts. People are going to want to get involved in both. People, for example, only play FGL, and no offence to them because I have a kind of somewhat decent relationship with them, but people tell me that some of them only play FGL because FGL was their only kind of main midweek thing. They've always said if VFL did anything midweek, they would have to seriously consider hopping between the two. So I think the player base will spill over. I think that's the joy of putting it on the main site, is that it just attracts everyone.
And talking about international tournaments like IFE, to be honest, VFL already do an international tournament. If anything, we could help them with it and try and maybe get more teams playing, but I don't see the point in having two VFL World Cups.
No, it's all one side. There's no point in having, what are we calling it? What's it going to be called?
The only real thing I could suggest, that I'm open to, is we managed to fit in 2 World Cups a year. We could probably, if I'm being honest, do 2 World Cups a year and the Euros, because we did that on PS4 last year, and I could just easily say, okay, then I, as in main VFL, will have the the 1 World Cup and the Euros, and then you lot could pick the managers for the other World Cup and run that. That's the only real thing I could suggest.
Yeah, I have notifications off Nivea, but thanks for that, by the way. I said I wasn't even going to do that one just late the night, but Zorro has asked, is there a single German club in touch with the English scene, or are we on our own? You're on your own.
Messaged Ibra.
No, there is.
I've spoke to Ibrahimovic.
Are they back?
I've not had a reply right enough, but I don't know if he uses Skype anymore, because a lot of the boy or people that I've spoke to that are Italian, French.
Joe, you're lagged. Hello. I think I might have lagged out the call.
Yeah, I think Andy.
Yeah, I just got lagged. I lagged there. Sorry, Joe. Can you go back to that?
Speaking, if you can get me in touch with a lot of them, Zorro, I will do the rest, mate. But
Well, I was going to say,
and I've not had a reply off him yet. But I know there's a few that are German teams that I need to get my claws into and try and speak to.
I know it's not fucking any great help, but I know there's. He did say one. There's one that plays the World Series, and that's even taking Germany in the World Cup. So it's that just a not prodigy lot. That guy.
Not probably.
I don't know. Not the most well known, but certainly the person more at football.
Just on the basis of the question, how are unknowns going to get noticed? You know how you get noticed back in the day, and it's not changed, but it's actually more accessible.
They're playing well.
I.e. you go in the teams, you go in the teams that are regarded as no great, and you shine against the teams that are better than you, and you stay there, and you don't club hop, and you don't go, you don't get beat 5-0 off of Phoenix or Unity and go, fuck this, shove your club up your ass, I'm off. You stay, you help the manager, you build the team, you say, I think we need to move on 2 or 3 players that are not quite cutting it, get in new guys, trial them, right? But also, there's a new way to do it. There's streams. There's Joe Boy's stream, there's my stream, there's Hatton's stream, there's Exoma's stream, Sam Tap's stream, there's Jay's stream, who's Unity Manic. There's stream after stream after stream, there's draft after draft after draft. You go in there, you get yourself put alongside guys like Dilskin, you get yourself against guys like Joe, they see you. I've just signed a guy from my community clubs called Shuff. I've just signed him. He came from nowhere. 2 months ago, nobody knew who he was, now he's playing in Unity. That's how you get noticed, you stand out in the crowd.
It's the cheesy thing of just saying, just put yourself about and just be active, and that's as easy as it is. It's like look at Joe and Phoenix, for example. Half the people, no offense to them, that Joe have brought in would have never ever got into a club that would have reached the Champions League semi-final about 2-3 FIFAs ago. It's just look at that. So Joe is the Arsene Wenger of fucking 11s, mate.
I'm still nowhere at it. I'm still nowhere at it.
But that's the principle though. Be like Joe. Be the Arsene Wenger of pro clubs. There you go. Do that.
I'm not saying I'm a way behind you in the chat. I'm just trying to pick up questions that you might have missed.
You can, also, any questions about EGN, just tag at Sam Carney, and I'll try to answer them when I can. Sam Carney TV, sorry. Yeah.
They'll all be about how do I sign up?
Yeah. No, I'm ready for it, don't you worry.
No, I always said when the whole league thing sorts, we get like another guide wrote out and everything, so it's all good.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's what I need, Zorro, mate. That's exactly what I need. Lovely.
See, a thing for Dilskin. Dilskin didn't start at the top. Dilskin started in a team called Class and Grass. He was about 14, 15 years old and got plucked out of obscurity by none other than me. Just to put that out there.
That was the most subtle fucking flex I've ever heard in my life. Jesus,
that was nothing subtle about that. There was nothing subtle about that.
Yeah. You see, you Dylan, I made you.
No. He would have came up no matter. It's whoever spotted him first was lucky, and I managed to spot him first because he basically ripped me apart in a game, and I was like, I'm signing this kid. That's what happened basically. I find other questions. Are people still asking questions? Are you seeing anything?
Everyone's just fucking loving the fact that you just pretty much said that you made Dylan.
How many people from VFL has signed up for this EGN so far?
I have signed up. I need to attack Nick's, but I have signed up. Yeah,
I've seen a few. I've seen a few come in here and there. Obviously, it's not. It'll take some time, but there's plan. I know Aaron has plans in place to sort of push sign-ups for it through the World Series and all that. And obviously now with this
league thing
partnership. Yeah, of course they have to. So
exactly.
Yeah. So just FYI, you have to have an account on the site to be on the roster, to be basically be able to play, because that's how the roster system works. So it's through your user accounts on EGN, but it's one account. So you just sign up once. Don't forget there's a forgot password feature, but just don't forget your details and you're good.
Yeah, write on a fucking notepad. Stick it in your room somewhere. Have your password as password. Be that guy.
That's it. Be that guy.
I'm surprised we're an hour and a half in, guys. We've covered a hell of a lot of topics, but we've not even scratched the subject of topics that we can actually discuss. So obviously plenty of content to come. Looks like to me the questions look to have kind of dried up a bit. So I mean, are you wanting to give any kind of last words of that, and we'll just wrap up and finish there?
I'll chime in first. Go on then. I'll just say again, the fact that we've done an hour and a half just talking, there's 180 people here from the start to the finish is mad. So big up yourselves. Again, I said it yesterday as well during the Champions League, but thank you for the fucking incredible support from all of you guys over the weekend on Andy's stream and just in general for the CL. I said we reached 388 people yesterday, which is I've never seen that before in my life. So that was nuts. And I mean, if you're a 11s fanatic and you care deeply like Joe and Andy and everyone else does about the scene kind of not being where it's at right now, rest assured, fucking superhero fucking X-Men team of fucking clubs is here. We've got fucking 3 absolute wonder kids in terms of the UK scene and the fucking and Bill Gates. So and fucking Bill Gates over here, the Australian Bill Gates helping us save it. So we're all fucking real good.
Oh god, that's hilarious.
The Australian Steve Jobs. There you go.
There you go. So Sam, are you wanting to say anything before we go, or?
Oh no, just happy that this is happening, and yeah, it's great to see that the community is really getting around. I've been reading the chat. There's a lot of positive support, and big ups to the EGN guys who have tuned in. There's quite a few of you. If you're from EGN, make sure you let us know as well. I know there's going to be a few of you sort of lurking, but I'm really happy this is happening. And if anyone has any questions around the site as well, that's my Twitter there. Sorry for the plug, but there it is right there. Because I know. Yeah, I know. Like people will have questions around the site, and I'm happy to answer them. Obviously, and go.
Yeah, and fucking +8 if you're a fucking absolute moron and you're around at fucking 8 o'clock in the morning UK time or whatever. Then Sam occasionally streams as well, so hop into his stream. Say hello. Don't be an arsehole. There you go.
Not anymore, but I potentially will be doing YouTube in the future and maybe streaming
there
off there. But yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Right, Joel. Are you?
Just everybody keep your eyes peeled, keep your DMs open because I'll be slipping into them at some point, especially the managers. And also I'm going to do a plug for my stream. I also stream.
Right. We all know one here.
No, you don't fucking say, Joe.
We all know Joanne.
No.
Right, so I mean,
you stream.
I'm obviously want to thank you 3 guys for coming on. Obviously, Aaron and Joe are going to be residents of this, so they're going to be here all the time. We'll be having a variety of guests. I'm sure we'll have Sam on again. Sam's got obviously some quality ideas about the scene as well. And just because they're in a different market doesn't mean to say that these ideas don't work in both markets, because obviously they do. So a huge shout out to you 3 guys for giving up your time to come on here. Obviously, if anybody would like to be a guest, then what I will do is I'm going to put it out that Aaron picked this guest, so Aaron picked Sam, so I'm going to put it across and let Joe pick the next guest. So you want to be a guest, contact Joe. I'll send out a tweet about that as well. So anybody, whoever Joe decides, we'll set the topics based on about that. I don't know if you've noticed tonight, but what we tried to do was get the topics to flow into one another. So me and Aaron spoke about our history, but then we tweaked into rivals, which led into the EGN and VFL partnership, which then led into the VFL new competitive aspect, which still led into rivals as well. And then we opened up questions to you guys, so it kind of flowed quite well. I thought we'd done quite well for the first one. A few teething problems at the start because the RAN graphic was sitting there for some reason, but I'm happy. I hope yous are happy. I hope the chat's happy. Any feedback, get on my Twitter. I'd love to hear from you. Good night, troops. Adios for all your name.
You'd love to see it. Bye. I hope you're strangers.
Night, lads.
Hope you're strangers.